Welcome back. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about office use and office properties in the office sector. This segment is brought to you by my company, Bull Realty Asset and Occupancy Solutions. We work throughout the Southeast and we're headquartered in Atlanta. Visit bullrealty.com. And my guest is Les Adkins. Les is CEO of Orange Wave Group. And Les, you guys are very involved with millennials, and I think,
yes,
when we own business, we own properties, office properties, we're managing these properties, we're working with tenants, with companies that are looking for space and using the space, and everyone's concerned about the millennials, right? And we need to be, don't we?
We do. I mean, they're the largest population ever, right? So, and everybody goes, millennials. And when you say the word millennials, everyone around you goes, oh, right? The millennials. All the bad things. They're not loyal. They're not this. They hop jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not focused, all the things. But at the end of the day, they're it. For workforce, for consumers, people buying stuff, they're it. They're the largest population, 82 to 116 million of them here in the United States. So,
Wow.
As opposed to the baby boomers that were only 78 to 82 million. So they're it.
So if we're a tenant rep, we're helping a company pick space location-wise, what might we think about to help our clients that run businesses attract and retain millennials?
So one of the things to understand about millennials is they want to feel part of something bigger than themselves, and they want to feel valued, and they want to feel like they have friends around them and people that care about them around them. So you need to be looking at environments that are sustainable, be looking at environments that are around other things that they can go do, like an arena or like the local pub. One of the big trends that's happening, and I don't know the statistics, you'd probably be better at that than I would, is the move back from suburbia into the cities. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing about millennials are they try not to live above their means, so they're very frugal. So the better you can have all things in one place, the better off you're going to be from a developer standpoint, from looking at kind of helping your tenant reps from how they work and live and things of that nature, to look for those things that are very close by so they don't have to buy a car to go do everything.
Yeah, it makes sense, and we're helping investors pick investment properties, and you're looking at office properties, and you think of how big this millennial group has become and how important to the business world. I think you want to think about properties that are on transit, that are in mixed-use developments, right? So that the millennial has an experience, they can walk out and be in a community, right?
Right. I mean, one of the coolest things I saw recently was a developer had purchased a mall and had part of the living space, and then part of the mixed space was office space as well as restaurants and retail shops, right? And so there's a lot of really creative things that are happening because, being in the business you're in, it's been up, it's been down, there's a lot of vacant buildings around, right, that now are being bought and being developed and those type of things. So when investors are looking for development, they need to start not looking at the old way of doing things, but really to get into the minds of millennials and understand what's important to them, that they're not spending the mega bucks, but from a perspective of an investment, how can you get them to spend the money that they have where to help your tenant from that perspective?
So let's think about design of office space, Les. So if we're helping a business with the design of their space, what's important inside the space that would help them with millennial employees?
So with millennials, they want to have more of common spaces. So less individual offices and more bigger common spaces, because millennials like sharing ideas with people that are their same age or of same interest, right? The other thing is they also want to, when they're designing the space, they want it to be inviting. So not the old, starkness of old office spaces, but more maybe have one of the coolest ones I've seen lately where they bring more of a design of waterfalls or water moving throughout the actual space itself. So more of an inviting space, less generic or institutional. And then finally, one of the things is kind of have that village concept where You can go there to meet new people of like mind. So in order to do that, you have to develop these properties based around a like-minded group of people. And now here's the one thing to be not to be careful of. Don't get caught up in the fact that, okay, I developed this space this way, it works out great because you're in Atlanta. But if you're in Minneapolis, a space in Atlanta may not work the same way in Minneapolis or Ohio. It depends on where you are in the country. So you really have to know, again, your audience from understanding what they're looking for. And the best way to do that, ask them.
Yeah, ask them.
Yeah, people forget that. You know, I mean, we've gotten into the things like, okay, well, I know best because I'm the expert, or I know best because I've been doing this for years. But it's changing so much that no, you don't know best, because your entire audience has changed the way they spend money, the way they invest, the way they live, the way they work.
I think that's great. You know, as tenant reps, we like to ask the CFO and the CEO, look, can we interview some of your people? They might even tell us something that they're not telling you, so we can help you get into the right space. So how much do millennials care about wellness and sustainability in their space today?
Sustainability is number one, almost. How it's going to not affect the environment in a bad, negative way, right? And then the other one is the wellness part. They want to at least have the ability to have the gym, or have the the aerobics, or have different things that they can actually stay healthy. Because right now, with all the medical stuff that's going on, one of their big concerns is how are they going to stay healthy? Because there's there was a recent statistic out that said that generation is not living as long as yours and my generation. So the curve was going where we were living longer. Now it's going back to not living as long because of fast food. Everybody's moving 90 miles an hour. You don't sit and rest.
So it's not because their cell phones attached to them all the time?
No, it's not because their cell phones attached to them. It's because just of the fast pace and the different foods and things of that nature. But as a developer, and looking at if you're trying to design a common space, these are things that you need to look at. I mean, maybe even partnering with some of these wellness, like some juice companies. They're really big right now, the juice companies. The gluten-free, or things of that nature. Those are the things that these individuals care about. And one of the things I travel all around, we're doing those millennial integration workshops, is we talk about, the big thing we talk about is, it's not a matter, you may not like this group of people, but they're all you got. They're going to be in the workforce and be the buyers and be the investors for the next 15, 20 years. The next generation, Generation Z, that's just now graduating from high school, 18, they think completely differently. So you're going to have to change again, because they are more about working independently, not so much collaboratively. But millennials are excited about this generation because they come with innovation and creation. So the one thing I would actually recommend to your listeners and your watchers, is like your audience, is that one of the things to be constantly involved in is don't get complacent, because it's constantly forever changing.
Yeah, well, good tip, Les. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I always appreciate it.
And stay with us. We'll have more on office strategies right after this message. Stay with us. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show.